What's up, guys? War here. Welcome back to the channel. I am so happy to finally bring you this build. We are talking about the Storm Werewolf, Perma Werewolf Tornado build for the end game of Diablo 4. Okay, this is what I have been waiting for. I've been searching for 5 days to get the Tempest Roar, and we finally got it. So I'm going to showcase this build against the world boss and show you how freaking crazy it is. But first, we're going to go over everything that you guys need for the build, the gear, the spirit boons, and abilities, everything that you need. We got about 3 minutes until we fight the world boss, so let's go over things fairly quickly. So with the world boss, or excuse me, with your skill tree, this is all about being in perma werewolf form and going into dire werewolf. Okay, so let's take a look at the abilities here so that way you guys can see them. So starting off, we are taking 1 point in Storm Strike into Enhanced Storm Strike, so we have a chance to immobilize any and all enemies. This is crucial to our build because we're going to be doing a lot of critical strikes, and we need crowd control on this build. This build is going to all about crowd controlling, immobilizing, stunning, doing crits for massive damage, and just infinitely spamming tornadoes. So then we come down, we're going to take 1 point in Heart of the Wild into Wild Impulses for more damage. We're taking maximum amount of points in Tornado. You can see we have rank 11 out of 5 because we are just dominating with our gear pieces. Into Enhanced, into Raging Tornado, which makes enemies vulnerable. However, you could do this one to make them slow, but I like the vulnerability. Now we're going to come down to Predatory Instinct because we want the crit chance at 6%, so we max that out. We are also taking the Gaia tier because we want the increased movement speed here, and it persists when leaving werewolf form. Although we're permanently in werewolf form, we're never going to leave. So we're going to be very fast. Then we're going to come down to our defensive skills, guys. We're taking Cyclone Armor into Enhanced to knockback and slow. And then we're also taking Persevering Cyclone Armor, so that way we get the damage reduction, which is awesome because we're going to be actually pretty tanky. Then we're maxing these two guys for 3 into Ancestral Fortitude for non-physical resistances, although resistances really don't do a whole lot. And then Vigilance for 15% damage reduction when we pop Cyclone Armor or Bloody Howl. Then next, of course, we got Bloody Howl. We pop this so that way we get heals, and then we get a cooldown every time we kill somebody. And then Bloody Howl increases our attack speed for 4 seconds by 15%, which is huge. Allows us to like spam tornadoes even faster. We have no companion skills, so we're skipping that. We're coming down to Hurricane. We got Hurricane into Enhanced Hurricane. That also slows them for the crowd control effects, as well as enemies affected deal less damage. So with Cyclone Armor and Hurricane, enemies up close are going to deal like nothing damage. I mean, they do deal some, but we get a huge damage reduction for that. Now we are going to take Elemental Exposure for skills that deal damage against vulnerable. And then we have Endless Tempest to increase the duration of Hurricane. We're coming down taking 1 point Neurotoxin, 3 points in Envenom for critical strike damage against poison enemies, which they will be poisoned with our abilities. Then we have 1 point in Toxic Claws for crit damage over poison damage for 4 seconds, which is really cool. And then we're coming down for our ultimate. We have Grizzly Rage, but we have gear that's going to make us a werewolf instead of a werebear. So we get Unstoppable, Fortify, and then an increased damage and movement speed, which makes us really fast. The next, we're taking 3 points into these 3 categories. We get to heal when we pop all of our storm skills, which are nature magic. We get more damage against elites for 12%, and then we get storm skills deal 12% increased damage to enemies that are stunned, knockback, or immobilized, which they always will be. And then our big passive is Earth and Might to give us infinite spirit, and here we go. So you pop Grizzly Rage, pop all of our stuff, and we're just going to spam. You see how fast our mana just goes. We're just infinite. This is crazy. We just deal non-stop damage infinitely. Look at our spirit. It just doesn't go away. It just doesn't go away. Bam. And the world boss is absolutely freaking annihilated, ladies and gentlemen. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. What happened to the world boss? I don't know. But he's dead now. He's gone. He can no longer hurt you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god. Oh my god. We got an Earthen Bulwark thing. We got this. We got that. So you guys can see we have infinite spirit when we are in Grizzly Rage. Okay? And with Earthen Might, even though this says that Earth skills, we have a equipment which says that our Storm skills also get this effect from Earth and Might. So on crits, because we are going to be critting everything and having a huge lucky hit chance with Hurricane active as well as spamming Tornado. The reason for this is because both of these, as you can see with Hurricane, you can see that this constantly spins, and then so does Tornado. So you're getting multiple ticks. Tick, 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 tick. So the lucky hit chance being 9, and then this one being 26% lucky hit chance. We are getting a huge opportunity to absolutely trigger Earth and Might to restore all of our spirit so we can just spam infinitely like you guys just saw against the world boss. Now, after all of our skills, which is pretty dang awesome, we're going to go in and take a look at our spirit boons. For this build, there's a couple things that you could change, but these are the ones that I like. Okay, for the deer one, we're taking awareness, so that way we get the 10% damage reduction from elites, because we are up close and personal. We're going to be right in their face, spamming everything. However, you could take advantageous beast to reduce the duration of control impairing effects, because you're going to be really tanky. Totally up to you. I kind of go back and forth between these two. It just depends, because Grisly Rage is our only form of unstoppable to break CC, so keep that in mind. Next, under Hawk, we're taking Avian Wrath for 30 times or 30% critical strike damage. Huge. You almost never not take this. Into our Wolf, we're taking Calamity, extended duration of ultimate skills, which is going to be our Grisly Rage by 25%. Huge. And then down into the Snake, we are taking our 2 points here, which is going to be Masochistic, crit strikes with shape-shifting skills, which is going to be all of our attacks. Heals us for 3% of our max life. This is another reason why this build is super tanky. Then we have Calm Before the Storm, Nature Magic skills, which is all of our skills. Have a 10% chance to reduce the cooldown of our ultimate skill, Grisly Rage, by 2 seconds. Now, I do want to preface, even after the spirit boons and abilities, you need cooldown. I'm working very diligently on getting cooldown on my gear to help keep Grisly Rage up all the time. This is a very tough feat to do, but I'm working on it, and I will spend every gold piece that I have to do it, because this is the build that I'm playing from 88 until 100. Now, let's go over the gear and everything that you guys need for this build, because it does require a lot of pieces. So, first and foremost, this is the biggest one that you need, is Tempest Roar. Your Storm skills have a 25% chance, and I got a max roll on it, by the way, have a chance to grant 4 spirit. So, because of Hurricane and Tornado, like we talked about, that tick, 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 tick to give us a chance to hit our lucky hit chance, this is on top of Earth and Might, which gives us maximum spirit. It's absolutely flawless. You 100% need this. But more importantly, the second skill is the key here. Your base Storm skills are now Werewolf skills. Next, Mad Wolf's Glee. Werewolf form is now your true form. And you get +2 ranks to all Werewolf skills, which all of our Storm skills are now Werewolf skills. So they're all +2 more ranks. This is what keeps us in Werewolf form the entire time. Next, we have, of course, Tornado. Right? This is the Storm Chaser Sovereign Remembrance. Tornado will seek up to 3 targets. This is huge. And we got a very, very good roll with +3 ranks on the gloves, which is huge. Next, you have this one, which gives us the Disobedience legendary power, which gives us 0.45% increased armor for 4 seconds when we deal any form of damage, and it stacks up to 45%. You should almost always have this at max with all of our ticking and damage from all of our skills. Next, we have Ghostwalker. This gives us a huge movement speed advantage for 19% while we're unstoppable, and increased move speed, or the increased move speed, and then we move freely through enemies. So while we're in Grisly Rage, we have a huge move speed bonus, so we're all over the place, and we get to move freely. This is huge for just spamming, spamming, spamming. Our Amulet. Crit strikes with core skills, which is going to be our Tornado. Increase our attack speed by 24%. This is fantastic. This just allows us to spam even more. In our ring, we have Earth and Might. This is the second or third key ability. Earth and Might passive also applies to your Storm skills. If you guys don't remember, Earth and Might, Damage was with Earth skills, which will now also be Storm skills. Has a chance to restore all spirit and cause our attacks to be guaranteed crit strikes for 5 seconds. Gigantic, okay? And then the chances increased for crit strikes by 10% or at 10% if the target is stunned, immobilized, or knocked back, which we do all 3 of those. So next is the Werebeast, Rampaging Werebeast. The duration of Grisly Rage is increased by 4 seconds. I didn't get a max roll. And then in addition, crit strikes while it's active increases our crit strike damage by 10% for the duration. So each time we crit, damage goes up and we do even more damage. It's absolutely insane. Last but certainly not least is our weapon, which is the Dire Wolf's aspect. Grisly Rage now shapeshifts you into a Dire Wolf. And as a Dire Wolf, you gain increased movement speed of 46% and movement speed so you get the movement speed instead of the damage reduction, which is okay. But then you also get a 92% spirit cost reduction bonus. In addition, kills heal you. So the 92% increased damage reduction bonus is huge, or cost reduction, excuse me. That also allows us to infinitely spam Tornado. So not only does our spirit just never go away, but it allows us to infinitely spam Tornado. That is the key. Now, for those that don't know, typically what happens is you get the 20% damage reduction from Grisly Rage, but because of our weapon, that goes away. So we get movement speed instead of damage reduction, but then we get spirit cost reduction, which is just insane as an addition. So these are the gear pieces that you need for the build. Now, if you don't want to do two-hand, you could separate this and do another ability if you really wanted to, like damage reduction while you're in werewolf form by like 20%, which is really cool, or just basic attacks, deal more damage, or give you damage reduction. But this is the gear that you need for the build, guys. This thing absolutely slaps. All you do is pop Grisly Rage, you pop Cyclone Armor, you pop Hurricane, and then you pop Bloody Howl. Every single time you kill big mobs, you pop Bloody Howl because you're going to continue to get the increased attack speed, which allows you to get more crits, and the cycle just keeps continuing. But I do have to note that you do have to have Grisly Rage active for this build to work in its most effective form, which is why I say get cooldown reduction on everything that you can, and I'm working so hard for this. Now, in our pulverized video, which I really do appreciate all the love, guys, we didn't really go over the Paragon board, which I would like to do now for you guys. Now, again, I'm only level 88, so I'm just going to go over this briefly and just show you. If you guys want to pause it or take screenshots, you could definitely do that. So in the beginning, what we're doing is we're just going to go up. This build is all about willpower, dexterity, and intelligence. Okay, we don't care about strength right now. So we're taking Exploit. This is a huge one to make enemies vulnerable, and then we deal more damage against them while they're vulnerable for 3 seconds. Make sure you get these 2 nodes here for 20% more damage, Impale and Resolve. We go all the way up into board 2, which we're going to take Thunderstruck. Storm skills deal 30% times increased crit strike damage against enemies that are invulnerable or mobilized. They should always be this. The other rare node you're going to have is Tempest for more crit strike damage and vulnerable damage. Then we're going to come up and grab Deluge, more crit strike damage and damage against crowd control enemies. Then we're taking Werewolf as our second node. More damage while in werewolf form and damage reduction while we're in werewolf form. We're always going to be in these forms no matter what. Then we have Hubris, damage reduction from vulnerable enemies, which almost every enemy should be vulnerable. And we deal more damage while we're in werewolf form. Next is Stormcaller. All of our damage is from storm skills, so we have that. And then more damage while we're in werewolf form. Then we come up to board 3, which we're taking Feral. We'll eventually get this to 450 for the increased skill damage. Our other glyph is going to be Undaunted, which we don't have to 15 yet. And we don't have enough points to get to the second edition. But when you do, you'll have increased damage while fortified and more damage reduction to make you more tanky. We're having Lust for Carnage. This is a very, very important legendary node. Crit Strikes with Werewolf skills, which is our storm skills, will give us 2 spirit. This also helps us keep permanent spirit up. Over to our very last board, we're going to have Devastation, which I don't have the intelligence for yet, 9 away. But Nature Magic damage increase, which is all our storm skills, and then more damage to elites. And then we'll get another percentage of Nature Magic damage once that bonus is there. We're skipping Constricting Tendrils. We're not getting this legendary node. And for our last glyph, we have Spirit at the moment. for increased crit strike damage with core skills, which is Tornado. And then crit strikes increase the damage the enemy takes from us by 2% up to 20 seconds, up to a maximum of 12%, which is huge. Our other two last rare nodes are going to be Nature's Will for more damage, and then Courage for max life and more willpower. So this is the Paragon board, guys. I'll go over it real slow just so you can kind of take pauses here and just look, so that way you can see it. And if you guys want to copy it, the link will also be down in the description. So yeah, that's the Paragon, guys, what you have right now up to 88. I think I'll update these up to 70 because most people are not past 70 yet, but that is there for you. This is the Storm Werewolf build. It is, to me, the best Druid build that you can play in the end game. It just absolutely slaps. High mobility, damage reduction, all that good stuff, guys. So this is the build. Like the video if you guys have enjoyed it. Really like the video and comment down below if you like how much we just absolutely slapped the world boss. And comment, do all that good stuff. Make sure to subscribe if you guys are new. And as always, stay gaming, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.